Hello everyone and welcome back to my 999 Let's Play. The last time we found the door 9, or the door 9's, doors 9 I should say, and Clover went missing, and she is definitely not in that coffin in the room where the 9 doors are. Never ever. Oh man, I hope we can save her. His voice had an edge of resolve and concern.
Very well then. We'd best separate and look for Clover.
Just look at the coffin!
We haven't much time left. Let's begin.
She was literally banging on the door. Well, not the door, you know, on the thing.
Yeah.
On the walls. There were quick nods all around, and the 6 remaining players spread out. Junpei and June ran to the large hospital room together. As quickly as they could, they searched around and under the beds and in the corners.
She's not here.
No, she isn't.
Alright, just in case, we should go take a look in the shower room.
Shower room?
I mean, why would she be in there?
That's where her brother is. She might have gone to see him.
I mean, I guess, but would you really want to see that? Like, even if this is your brother, would you really like to like want to just see that mangled up corpse, even though we know it's not him, but still. June bit her lip. She knew, as Junpei did, that there was only one thing to see in the shower room, and it wasn't pleasant.
Well, we might as well check, right? Let's go.
There was a screwdriver stuck in the door and the frame.
Good. We can still get in.
We should thank Seven later.
Junpei and June slipped through the door, moved down the hallway, and stepped into the shower room.
No luck.
Well,
Yeah, I don't think she's here.
June's voice was faint, and she placed her hands over her mouth. Her face looked a little green. She did not place her hands over her mouth if you look at the sprite.
The smell is horrible.
I'm sorry. The stench in the room was almost unbearable. It had grown far more unpleasant since their last visit. If Junpei had eaten a lunch, he would have had difficulty retaining it. He wanted to leave the room as soon as possible, but he had to be sure. And the only way to be sure was to check the other side of the divider.
Let's check the back, just to be sure.
June offered no resistance and nodded weakly to Junpei as he headed around the divider. He stopped at the corner and turned his head.
No, she's not here.
As he'd expected, Clover was nowhere to be seen. The only thing on the other side of the divider was the dead body lying in a reddish-brown puddle of dry and drying blood.
Snake. Just where did your sister go?
What did he do to his sister, more like? Junpei whispered what once was Snake. He's asked rhetorically, of course. There was no way he'd get an answer. He gave a deep sigh.
Such a horrible way to go. The skull shattered, the left arm's hideously twisted. Huh? Wait.
The bright white of the ulna was clearly visible through the remains of the skin and muscle. Oh, wait, right, in this timeline we know. Bright white. Ulna.
Bones.
Bones. The pieces fell into place. Junpei remembered something Clover had told him in the laboratory.
My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal person's arm. The accident hurt him really bad.
Of course. Of course. Why didn't I realize it earlier?
Same, to be honest. Clover had told Junpei that Snake's left arm was prosthetic. But then why? Then the X ending makes even less sense because she saw the body, so... I mean, I guess that's not the first thing you look at, but so, I don't know. She could have realized that. SMH. But the left arm of the corpse behind the divider was quite clearly a real human arm, or at least it had been once. That meant... the corpse...
Junpei?
June's unsure voice at Junpei's suddenly strange behavior drew his attention back to her.
Oh, sorry for making you wait. Let's go.
Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Junpei and June headed back towards the large hospital room. They stepped through the door and out of the shower room. Down the hallway they went, searching for Clover in every corner. They had reached the stairs when... Seven appeared, breathless and yelling.
Junpei! June! Where were you guys?
He looked pale and his face was drawn. Something terrible had happened. Junpei's breath caught in his throat.
Did something happen?
Seven drew a shaking hand across his face, gulped down a breath of air.
Clover is dead.
Yeah.
I found her in the first-class bathroom.
Oh. So she was not in the cabin? Coffin? da 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 da. Huh. Then who was in the coffin? All sound ceased for Junpei. The world was an empty, muffled expanse. Then he began to hear his own breathing. No. Jun's mouth moved, but he heard nothing. She tried once more, and then her energy was gone, and she collapsed against the wall. He could have helped her, but he hadn't, and now she was dead. So he stood there, frozen in place.
Clover. Clover. Why? Why did this happen?
He forced his body to move. Each step felt like another nail pounded into his heart. Finally, he was in front of her. He knelt and placed 3 fingers against Clover's neck. No pulse, no breath. But she was still warm, and her eyes were closed peacefully. It would have been easy to think she was asleep. Easy, that is, were it not for the slowly expanding puddle of blood beneath her. He traced its source to her back. A gash just beneath her shoulder blade. Was the weapon a knife, perhaps? So... it was Zero who was Snake, but why were... Maybe Zero isn't Snake, but... or maybe he just hates his sister, I don't know. I personally don't have a reason why he would kill her, but... if we connect that to the submarine ending where Junpei got stabbed in the back... so, If it was a knife, the killer had taken it when they left. When he closed his eyes, he saw Clover smile.
Clover.
Her innocent smile. Her energy. He would never see her smile again.
No way.
He could have done something. He could have helped her. His stomach twisted itself into a sickening knot.
Let's get out of here, June.
Junpei lifted a limp June from the floor and carried her from the bathroom. Poor Clover. She didn't deserve that in this timeline.
Are you alright?
It was a foolish question, and he knew it.
Yes, I think so.
Her voice was weak. The fever had gone down, but the emotional scars she'd received were not likely to recede as quickly. Junpei laid his hand on her shoulder, and they walked back to the bedroom.
You should get some rest.
The bedroom. Yeah.
Here, the bed. Can you sit?
Yes.
She nodded once and stared at the floor. There were 4 others in the room. What is with this weird angle? Ace, Lotus, Santa, and Seven. They all stared at nothing, their faces drawn and tired. After a while, they drifted into the bathroom to see Clover's corpse themselves. Once everyone was back in the bedroom, Junpei walked slowly to the center of it and looked around as the slumped figures gathered there.
Who was the first to find the body?
Me.
Seven spoke from behind Junpei. He turned around. Seven's hand was up.
Why did you come to this room?
To look for Clover. Why else? I found her body in the bathroom. As soon as I did, I ran outside. I got to the top of the stairs by the casino and yelled as loud as I could. Hey, guys! I found her, but it's bad! She's in the bathroom in the first-class cabin! Come quick! Or something like that. Then I went back to the bathroom. Ace, Santa, and Lotus showed up real soon after that. But I guess you two hadn't heard me or something because you didn't show. So I took off down the stairs to look for you. After that, I mean, you know the rest, right?
Junpei nodded and closed his eyes. There was one more thing he needed to ask.
Seven, there's one more thing I'm worried about.
What?
You stuck one of those plates in between the door and the frame, right? Why did you do that?
Come on, didn't I already tell you that? I did it so that the door wouldn't lock. So we could come back to this room? Oh, you think I did it?
Well, I don't know. That kind of depends on what you say, doesn't it?
For crying out loud.
Seven sighed and shook his head.
Follow me.
There were two doors standing next to one another. He opened the one to the right.
A closet?
Yeah.
Seven stepped inside. He stood in front of one of the shelves that filled it and gestured towards the small box. The box was a small metal cube. He looked at Junpei. Oh, because we never sold this?
This is the reason. This safe. We couldn't open it when we were getting through this room. I figured there might be something pretty important in it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I figured eventually we might figure out what the numbers are for the safe. And if we did, I didn't want to screw around with door 5 again. So I put the plate in the exit door so we could get back in that way. You get it now?
Yeah.
Junpei nodded and looked at the safe. He grabbed the handle and shook it.
Figured it wouldn't open.
It was as locked as it had been when Seven found it.
Huh?
There was one change, however.
This is...
Just underneath the safe was a pile of fine reddish-brown powder.
rust.
Junpei stared at it, considering.
If there's rust here, that means... Has someone opened the safe?
Junpei left the closet. He came out of the closet. Seven followed him behind him back to the bedroom, not bathroom.
Huh?
It was cold and quiet. No one spoke. They sat frozen in place by shock and grief and fatigue. The room felt tiny and oppressive, and the thick metallic smell of blood filled the room. Junpei turned and headed for the living room. Anything to get out of there.
Maybe there's another clue. Anything that might lead us to discover who stabbed Clover.
As quickly as they could, they searched around and under the beds and in the corners. His eyes caught on the door. The door that led to the passageway of door number 5.
Behind this door. The ninth man's body is behind there. Maybe I should have another look at it, just in case.
Yeah, let's see if it's still there. Quietly he pushed open the door.
Ugh.
The smell hit him like a blow to the face.
Oh, the hell? This smell is...
His lungs contracted, unwilling to inhale such fetid air. Acid boiled up from the base of his stomach, churning what little food there was into a violent froth. It was too much for him, and he vomited. A thin stream of yellow water and bile splattered on the floor. Great. He wiped his mouth weakly and stared at the dead body. Chunks of torn flesh lay in an arc around the body. I guess that's still there. What remained of its intestines had slid out onto the floor. The pool of blood that framed it was half dry, but so thick that it had taken on a texture not unlike that of an egg yolk prepared sunny side up. On the floor next to the broken mass of the man's head lay his glasses, cracks spidering across the lenses. The bloodstains near them had already dried, like scabs on the floor.
Wait.
That was the one he noticed.
It's gone. His bracelet. It's gone.
Huh.
It was right next to the glasses.
But now... it was gone. The number 9 bracelet was gone.
But why?
Had someone taken it? He was turning it over and over in his mind when he heard Seven's voice.
Huh? Where'd Junpei go?
It had drifted out to him from the living room. Junpei walked slowly out of the hallway.
Oh, there you are. Were you looking for something in the hallway?
Seven looked up as Junpei entered the room.
Yeah.
Did you find something?
He thought for a moment before he responded.
No, nothing.
Technically, it wasn't a lie. He hadn't found anything, in a way. In fact, that was the problem. Something he'd expected to find hadn't been there. The ninth man's bracelet.
What's up?
Well, I wanted you to take a look at something.
What is it?
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Seven led Junpei back to the bathroom.
Clover.
Oh, her bracelet is also gone. As Clover's corpse came into view, he felt his heart flip and then fall to the bottom of his stomach. Something between a sigh and a groan escaped his lips.
What was it you wanted to show me?
His voice was hollow and empty.
I searched Clover's body again. A real shame. She was stabbed once in the back, probably by a knife or something. And I found this.
As he spoke, he moved around Clover's head, then knelt down and flipped open her right hand.
What?
She was holding a piece of paper.
I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know? Basic stuff.
I guess her bracelet is just under her sleeve.
Well,
Oops.
I did borrow one thing.
What?
He wasn't sure what that meant, but it likely didn't matter. The paper was more important.
I'm opening it.
He picked it up and carefully opened it. There were 2 sentences written on it.
Truth had gone, and truth had gone. Ah, now truth is asleep in the darkness of the sinister hand.
What is this? Some kind of secret code?
Seven peered over Junpei's shoulder at the note. Junpei stepped away from Clover's body and into the living room. He began to pace, attempting to decode the note.
A code.
The first clue was likely the phrase sinister hand. Sinister hand means... Oh, how would I know? Which hand is sinister? Will it be left? Because the right is always right? I have no clue.
Sinister was a term used in heraldry that meant to the left of the bearer of a coat of arms.
I definitely knew that.
The left hand. The left hand. What does the left hand mean?
Junpei looked at his own left arm. At the bracelet on his wrist.
Does the darkness of the sinister hand have something to do with the bracelet?
He examined the bracelet closely.
There's 2 things sticking out on either side of the face. The left and right sides of the face. Left and right. Left and right. Right and left. Truth is gone. Truth gone.
Truth. Gone. Maybe those 2 words. How about reading it out loud? How about switching the sentences around? What else could gone and truth mean? How about reading them backwards? Enoch... oh god. Her... Nah. Probably not backwards. Truth? Gone? How about switching the sentences around? Truth had gone, gone had truth. What else could gone and truth mean? I don't know. Am I supposed to know that? Or am I supposed to know that if I played another route? Truth had gone. Truth had gone. Gone truth. No. I don't think Gun had truth. Gun had truth? No. I have no clue. I'm like How about truth gone? I mean, we already read it out loud, right? So that seems pointless. Truth gone. How about switching the sentence around?
How about switching the sentence around? Gone had truth. Well, that makes even less sense.
Yeah.
Clearly, switching the words isn't going to help.
Time for a different idea. Oh, I can just try everything. That's good. I don't know how many tries I have though, so. What about backwards?
How about reading them backwards? Gone and truth. Enog and Turt.
It hurt?
What am I saying? Those aren't even words. I doubt that's what the riddle was trying to say. Wasn't a bad idea, though.
Thank you, Junpei. Thank you. Truth. Gone. Those two words. What else could it mean?
What else could gone and truth mean? Truth, of course, means something that is correct, something that's fact. In other words, something that is right.
Oh.
You could then safely assume that gone means left.
Why would gone mean left then?
After all, after someone left, they were gone.
Oh.
But in this case, they clearly refer to their directional homonyms. Then truth equals right, and gone equals left.
Junpei looked at the bracelet again.
The left and right of the bracelet. These two things sticking out. So if I...
Press them in the following order. Can I look at this again? I don't have it in my files, right? Oh, I do actually. No, never mind. That was the other note. Truth had gone. Truth had gone. Truth. God damn it! Now I wish I would have written that down. Like, right? But wait, right? Right, left, right, left, right, left. Truth gone? Had truth had gone? I don't remember the sentence afterwards. And then one after another, 8 numbers flashed on, then off, of the face of Junpei's bracelet.
Wait, did it just...
We checked one more time to be sure. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
Huh? Hey, what are those numbers?
Junpei didn't answer. He couldn't answer. He had no idea what they were either. Besides, he was sure he would forget the numbers and the order they came in if he said anything.
1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
Muttering the numbers to himself over and over, Junpei headed towards the bedroom.
1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
Before long, he found himself in front of the safe again. Its lock was the only device he could think of that required a sequence of numbers such as the ones he'd just discovered. Besides, someone had opened the safe at least once already. Had Clover come to the bedroom to open it? Junpei slowly dialed in the numbers the bracelet had given him.
1 to the right, 4 to the left, and... Oh,
Finished.
bingo. I knew it was for this.
But how would you get this from this? A small telltale sound of a lock opening. He grabbed the handle, took a deep breath, and pulled it up.
Oh, is this some sort of note?
Inside was a piece of paper. It was roughly the same size as the one Clover had been holding.
Let's see.
Junpei picked it up. This is what it said. Fact number 1. The Nonary game was played once before, 9 years ago. Oh. Fact number 2. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago. Okay, that was Snake. Fact number 3. It was planned by the following 4 people. Cradle Pharmaceutical CEO Gentaro Hongo, Cradle Pharmaceuticals Chief of Staff Nagisa Nijisaki. Wait, so is this Ace's real name? Because he's the CEO? Or was that a previous CEO? Cradle Pharmaceuticals R&D Supervisor Teruaki Kubota. Majority shareholder in Cradle Pharmaceuticals Kagachika Musashido. I must punish them for the innocent lives they sacrificed. This is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved. I now state the truth. 0. Wait. But I thought Lotus's daughter survived. I mean, I guess still some people died, but I don't know, man. And yeah, right, Snake and Clover, they also survived. Junpei left the closet.
Huh.
There were 5 people waiting for him in the bedroom. Ace, Lotus, Santa, Seven, and June. Also, what is Santa's connection? I'm curious, man. He looked at each of them in turn, then slowly placed his hands in the pockets of his vest.
Sorry, but do you think you could all come with me?
Come with you.
I want all of you to go to the big hospital room.
Why?
There's something I want to be sure of.
What do you want to be sure of?
I want to know if the person I suspect is really the culprit.
Wait, then you're saying...
Yeah, I think I've got it figured out. I know who killed Snake and Clover.
The atmosphere in the room changed. Grief was suddenly gone, replaced by attention like a strap of leather stretched to its limit. Why are we still saying that Snake is dead? Didn't we establish that the corpse wasn't Snake? 5 sets of eyes stared at Junpei. He pretended not to notice.
Anyway, if you could all please move to the big hospital room. I'll explain everything as soon as we get there.
Then, almost as if on cue, the bell began to ring. They all heard it. It was the bell from the clock on the main staircase. The bell rang 5 times, then ceased.
It's 5 o'clock.
We've only got an hour left.
We don't have a lot of time left. Let's go.
Slowly, one by one, they followed Junpei out of the bedroom.
Actually, before we get started, I was hoping you could do something for me.
Junpei stopped in front of the draw 3 and turned around.
Ace, Seven, and Lotus, could you please place your palms on the red?
Huh?
Why? If we need to get to the shower room, why don't we just...
No, we're not going inside. Once you've authenticated, step away from the door.
Why?
Please, just do it. Or perhaps you don't want to know who killed Snake and Clover.
Junpei's implication was clear, and Seven understood perfectly.
Fine.
What about you, Ace, Lotus?
Very well.
Sure.
Quickly, they pressed their palms onto the red. Once they had finished, they stepped away from the door as Junpei had instructed. 3 asterisks shown from the red's display panel.
I have this idea. I don't think this device responds to a hand placed on it. It instead reacts to a bracelet being brought close.
Yeah?
You don't actually need a hand.
Yeah? Junpei approached it and held his bracelet over the scanner. He made quite sure he didn't place his palm on it and instead only brought his bracelet near it. The 4th asterisk appeared.
I knew it.
Just as Junpei had expected. It was possible to authenticate without placing one's palm on the red, so long as the bracelet was brought near it. I mean, I guess it was obvious for us now because we saw the X ending first and this is how Clover got out, so Junpei pulled the lever down. Door 3 opened like a hungry mouth. 9 long seconds passed. And the door shut, unfed. Junpei walked slowly back to the others, who are waiting some distance from the door, talking to one another. Santa and June had joined them as well.
Huh?
It looked as though they hadn't found a chance to break into the conversation yet. As Junpei approached, they turned to look at him, curiosity plain on their faces. Before long, the other 3 did as well.
What was that about?
How should I know?
Clearly, they were all expecting some answers.
Thanks. I appreciate your cooperation.
Clearly, they'd hoped for something more forthcoming. He continued.
By the way, Ace, would you mind if I asked you something?
What is it?
Do you know who I am?
Do I know who you are?
What? What kind of question?
Just answer it, please. Who am I?
You're Junpei, of course. Who else would you be?
Unfortunately, that's the wrong answer. Actually, I'm Santa.
Oh.
What?
Ace's voice was full of surprise, but it was also tinged with confusion and fear. What? Are we pranking him with his prosopagnosia? Everyone else looked nearly as surprised. Santa looked especially shocked to discover he was actually someone else. If he spoke, however, the trap would be exposed. Junpei quickly continued.
The clothes I'm wearing, I borrowed from Junpei. And the clothes he's wearing are mine. We had a little swap.
That's ridiculous. Impossible.
So, you're saying I'm not Santa?
Of course you aren't.
Why? What makes you so sure I'm not Santa?
If you were Santa, then door 3 wouldn't have opened for us just now. 1 plus 7 plus 8 plus 3 equals 19. 1 plus 9 would be 10. The digital route would be 1. But the 4 of us just opened door 3. You can't possibly be Santa. Your bracelet number isn't 3.
It's 5, right?
Huh?
Only then, when it was too late, did Ace realize his mistake. He set his jaw and glared at Junpei.
You're exactly right. My bracelet number is 5.
As he spoke, Junpei lifted his wrist up to show everyone the bright red 5 on his wrist.
Sorry, Ace. I tricked you. Of course, I'm not really Santa. I'm Junpei.
That's so mean.
Who could possibly think I was? It's obvious I'm not. To think I was? Ridiculous. But I guess you couldn't see just how obvious it was. I asked you before, didn't I? What makes you so sure I'm not Santa? And you answered. If you were Santa, then door 3 wouldn't have opened for us just now. Most people wouldn't say something like that. The first thing that would come to anyone else's mind wouldn't be the bracelet number. There'd only be one thing they'd say. One sentence. You don't have his face.
I mean, maybe not exactly that sentence, but something along those lines.
Ace, you have prosopagnosia, am I right?
Junpei's voice was quiet and calm. He knew the truth, so did Ace.
Prosopagnosia?
The others looked confused.
What's that?
No clue.
Prosopagnosia is...
He heard Lotus begin to explain it to them. Ace glanced at them, then turned back towards Junpei and sighed.
Very well. I confess. I have prosopagnosia. I cannot differentiate human faces. Is that what this was about? You want to mock me for my disorder?
No. I mean, it was a bit mean the way we exposed it.
No, not at all. I'm not making fun of you at all. In fact, I feel kind of bad for you. No, the reason I brought this up is that there's an excellent chance the person who killed Snake has prosopagnosia.
Oh. Ace's face tightened, his eyes narrowed.
What do you mean?
Junpei leaned casually against the iron piping of one of the beds.
I'll just come right out with it. I think it was you, Ace. You killed him.
Junpei was suddenly very aware of 5 pairs of eyes on him. He had their undivided attention now. The room had grown very, very quiet. Junpei took a deep breath.
That's ridiculous. What possible evidence do you...
I have 3 pieces of evidence. The first, think back to a few hours ago. You made us argue over the 3 doors here in the big hospital room. There was no way all 7 people could go through them. Lotus suggested that we sacrifice one of us.
Lotus looked away awkwardly. Junpei glanced at her and continued.
Then you, Ace, said, I'll stay here. Why would you say something like that? It's pretty simple, really. You didn't want us to see the dead body in the shower room. You see, if Ace stayed behind, there were only 2 doors the rest of us could go through. Doors 7 and 8. There was no way we could get through door 3, the shower room.
I mean, we did in the other timeline, but anyway.
You knew that, didn't you, Ace? That's why you volunteered to stay behind.
Come on now, I think that's going a bit far. I can understand if you're jealous of my bravery, but please don't devalue my actions. I only wanted to save the rest of you. Surely you can understand my altruism.
Altruism, huh?
Junpei stared off into the darkness at something very interesting and lazily began to dig a persistent bit of wax out of his ear.
You already knew, didn't you? You knew that whichever doors we took, eventually we'd end up back in the big hospital room.
What on earth are you saying? Of course I didn't know that. How could I have?
Really?
Yes.
Bleeding was not something they'd heard from Ace before. Junpei pulled out the piece of wax from his ear, glanced at it and flicked it off into the darkness.
Oh well, that's cool. I've still got 2 more pieces of evidence that say you're the killer. The second is that, as I said earlier, you have prosopagnosia.
Then you mean to imply that a person who can't distinguish human faces must be a bad person? Junpei, they call that prejudice.
No, I am not that stupid.
Then why?
Well, before I explain, I suppose there's something I should tell you. The corpse in the shower room. It's not Snake's.
What?
Ace's face went pale. The others looked confused as well. The body wasn't Snake's.
I didn't put it together right away, but there was something Clover told me. She said that Snake's left arm was prosthetic. He'd lost his real arm in an accident. But the body we saw in the shower room, let's call him Guy X. Guy X's left arm was definitely flesh and blood. In other words, Guy X couldn't possibly have been Snake.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Oh God. No. That's impossible.
Ace had started muttering deliriously to himself, shaking his head back and forth. Junpei was long past caring.
Let's say, hypothetically, that the killer didn't have prosopagnosia. If that were the case, he would immediately realize that Guy X wasn't Snake. Even if the clothes were the same as Snake's, their faces would be completely different. It would have been obvious they were different people. And yet, they still killed him. Why? Why would they kill a stranger who'd only just shown up? On the other hand, if the killer did have prosopagnosia, it makes sense. They thought Guy X was Snake and killed him.
Wait just a moment. Let's say you're right, and I mistook Guy X for Snake. Even if I did, I would have had no motive to kill him. Why would I want to kill Snake?
I can think of at least 2 motives. 1, Snake knew about your past. If he ever revealed what he knew, that would have been really bad for you. You really didn't want that to happen. So to make sure Snake's mouth stayed shut, you killed him. 2, Snake had a grudge against you. You knew that, or at least you could have easily assumed he did. Even without exposing your identity, he was a threat to you. You never knew when you might be attacked. You couldn't ever let your guard down. Every moment was a moment he might try something. You didn't want that kind of danger hanging over you, so you...
Hey, hold on a minute.
For the first time since the beginning of Junpei's explanation, someone besides Ace spoke.
What's the past that Ace wouldn't want us to know?
The first Nonary Game.
Why did Snake have a grudge against him?
Look at this.
He handed Santa a small piece of paper.
What's this piece of paper?
Santa squinted at the paper and began to read.
The Nonary Game was played once before 9 years ago. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago. It was planned by the following 4 people: Cradle Pharmaceuticals CEO Gentaro Hongo. What is this?
Slowly, Santa looked up from the paper. His eyes met Junpei's.
It's the message from Zero. It was in the safe in the first class cabin.
Then suddenly,
Give me a break!
Ace's face was red and shaking, and his voice was full of fury tinged with desperation.
That paper is a lie! Someone is trying to frame me!
Me. You said me, right?
Junpei's eyes narrowed, and the trap began to close. Ace inhaled sharply. His eyes flicked off of Junpei to something, anything else.
Wouldn't that mean you're admitting you're Hongo, the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals? Or am I mistaken?
It was as though a switch had been flipped. The color drained from Ace's face. As he realized what he'd done, his eyes went wide.
Very well. I admit that much. I am certainly the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical, Gentaro Hongo. So what if I am? I don't know anything about this Nonary game that supposedly took place 9 years ago. Everything on that scrap of paper is bullshit. Someone is trying to set me up, you see? First of all,
Ace stammered as he tried desperately to work himself to a more tenable position.
Junpei, you're claiming I did this all by myself. Think that over, all right? How could I have killed Snake all by myself?
Not Snake. It was Guy X.
I don't care who it was.
I don't care who I killed.
You said the killer put this other man into door 3, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Then I couldn't have possibly done that alone. I couldn't have opened door 3 with only myself and Guy X.
Nope. You could have.
What?
Ace's face was tight, and his teeth were clenched. Junpei fixed him with a level stare. Oh, I get it. I just got it because 9 plus 2 plus 1 is the digital. Okay, I got it. The trap was about to close.
Actually, Ace, when you were unconscious, I took something from you. Remember when you were injected with that anesthetic and fell asleep in the big hospital room? Yeah, back then, I took this.
Junpei put his hand into his pocket.
No! You couldn't have!
Ace's right hand moved. Junpei smiled.
I got you, Ace. Your right hand there tells me all I needed to know. You want to tell me what you were so worried about? What's in your pocket? It's the number 9 bracelet, isn't it? Ace, Guy X, and the 9th man's bracelet. That was all you needed to open door 3.
1 plus 2 plus 9 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3.
That's how you killed Guy X all by yourself, Ace. All you needed was the number 9 bracelet in your chest pocket.
Ace lowered his hand from where it had stopped, halfway to his pocket. And what he does afterwards, we will see in the next episode, because I'm evil. And I hope you guys enjoyed this part, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!